Hello everyone, welcome to GhDrive once again, doing what we do best, and that is transforming historic and salvage vehicles into lovely, cool, drivable automobiles which you would like. And this episode we have in hand a w202 c180 1996 model here that we're going to transform from one end to another end, and I believe you would like it. This one is a c180 1996 model and came in dark blue, running on an 18-inch machine wheeled rims, and came in 1.8 liter inline 4 petrol engine. Is a very good car. It has been a historic machine that Mercedes Benz did in those times, and we have one, and we are doing it as a pet project as well as a business project to transform this vehicle from this to that, and I'm going to show you how. We actually want to go through this with you through the bird's eye view of the project, starting from electrical installations, bodyworks, paint jobs, engine tuning, and then finishing and detailing. And I believe you would like it because I did love this job. I did it with my soul and my heart, and I believe you would like it because we've done a good job, and this looks good and better after all the things that we did to it. If you have a project of that nature and you need our assistance, don't hesitate. If you want us to do something like that for you, just get in touch and stay through. If you love these transformation videos and you love this particular Mercedes Benz, stick around and let's go through the process together. To start with, let me make this clear. There would be back and forth with the repair works, because once we attempt to fix one thing, we realize that something had to be done either in the bodyworks unit or probably in the electrical installation unit. So there will be this back and forth, and I hope and pray that you would be able to follow through and understand how the process started and concluded. But on that note, we'll begin with the stripping of the vehicle, because we needed to assess the amount of work that had to go into each of the units we intended to work on. So what you are seeing right now is the stripping of the internal parts of the vehicle, starting with the dashboard, because we needed to make sure that the air conditioning installation system works and works well. So we stripped the dashboard, and as you can see, yes, we could determine how much work had to be done on the dashboard walls, and you can see the cuts, the rusts, and all the little bits that we had to do in there. So we stripped the dashboard, the steering wheel, the center console, and all the electrical system that sat behind the dashboard, and this is what you see. Yes, so we had to go through this and arrive at what to replace and what not to replace. And per the analysis we did by stripping, we realized that we needed to replace the installation system itself, as the units, yes, the units that sits under the dashboard, that the distribution of the cooling air. And then also we needed to replace the dashboard beam upon which the dashboard sat, because then it was old, rusty, and it was bent a bit, so we had to replace that with a new one, and that's what we did. So that's what you're seeing. These are the dashboard works that had to be done, and you realize that the dashboard wall comes out on the other end at the engine side of it. So then you have the engine side wall which presses against the dashboard, and you realize that work had also to be done there, and the air conditioning engineer had to do this with the electrical engineer to be able to synchronize whatever each of them was doing to get the job done well, and that's what you are looking at. So this is the initial process, and when you start doing this, you realize that, look, you need a bodyworks person to do something for you. The air conditioning installation, the compressor had to also be installed and all that. So you start doing this and you realize that, look, I had to go back to a bodyworks person to come do something for me so that I can continue the installation of the air conditioner. And that's how come we have the back and forth. But ultimately, all the back and forth was done. A new air conditioning system was put in, and the dashboard was set up, and we got it right at this point. And that is what you're seeing. And you're also seeing the airbag installation system. That's the passenger side airbag installation system. Okay, so that's the first step into the process. It is only fair that at this point in time I give credit to the gentleman that helped with the stripping of the vehicle dashboard and all of its content, and then the correction of the dashboard walls, and then the engine walls, and then the installation of the air conditioning unit under the dashboard, and the pipes that exited through the dashboard walls into the engine chamber and then onto the air conditioning motor compressor. So I give credit to them because they worked hand in hand. They worked in tandem to get the dashboard walls well done, so that the air conditioning system will sit well to allow the pipes to exit properly, so that the wiring harness also are laid properly to carry out the circuitry powers and all that. So these three gentlemen, my air conditioning engineer, the electrical engineer, and then the bodyworks gentleman, did so much of a good work that all these things were done in tandem, so that it was done correctly and accurately, so we can be sure that there's not going to be any malfunctioning of electrical wiring or power circuitry anywhere. And I give credit to these guys. But at this point, I intended to put in a reverse parking sensor, so the electrical engineer had to lay the unit right underneath the air conditioning blower, the central unit that blows the air conditioning air around, and then lay the electrical wires, the wiring harness, from the control board through the center console, under the chairs, through the boot, and then into the rear bumper. And that is what you are looking at. So the sensors are the little red stuff that you see there that is being inculcated, and this was done so well that it fits well and it works well, and I give credit to these guys. The thing about beautiful cars is not always about the paint job, but then about how good the body looks. And so we needed to make sure that this C180 had the best of a body touch-up, and so we took it to the body workshop so that the bodyworks gentleman could do a little bit of touch-up here and there for us, and we had to take it. So from here we're heading straight to the body workshop, and it was a rainy day, so we got in rainy, and the gentleman took over. He took the fenders both left and right off to make sure that it has the right lines, sharp, accurate, and visible, and then he continued off from there to touch it up. And I'm going to take you through the process and the things that he did. I will not be able to speak much to it, but I'm sure you can see and tell that these were the things that were done to get this Mercedes Benz back in shape in terms of body. You didn't think I actually meant that I wasn't going to say anything. That would have been so boring. So let me just go over with you. I mean, just as you're looking at it, the bodyworks guy had already taken the left and right fenders off to take it to the machine shop to get it pressed and smoothing. So he took that off, and then right away went to the rear bumper to get the patches done. The areas that were broken, he started working on it to bring it back to use, because we could not find a replacement. Now if you look at the sides where I'm touching, work had to be done there, so I went around with him showing him the areas that he had to touch for my perception. Then he brought back the machined pressed fenders, and you can tell that a great deal of work has been done. The lines are sharp and straight and visible, and so he slapped them back, and it did look good when it was put back. Now he went round with me, and I kept pointing to things that I think I thought had to be done to to get things properly set up. And well, for those that he could find replacement, he told me. Those that he couldn't find replacement or couldn't find replacement from any shop, we decided to amend the old one and get it working for us, and that's what we basically did. So you look at the right fender, and it's also machine pressed. You look at the running board, and he worked on that too. So you can tell from here. Yeah, so these are the little bits of work that went around, and every day when I came back to the body workshop, I found something that had to be corrected, and he was so helpful going through all that with me. So if you look at the engine bay, the wall that presses against the dashboard, there was some amount of work that had to be done so that the fuse box could sit well and fit into its place, and so the bodyworks guy had to do something about it. I'll show you the inside as we left off from the electrical end, when they had put in the air conditioning setup and then the blower itself also. And so this is what you have, which is not complete because we needed the bodyworks guy to do something down there to get the blower sit well so that we had to do this because it was actually a right drive converted to a left drive. But all the same, we did a good job. You couldn't tell. Yeah, so what I'm showing you right now is the roof, because we needed to take the roof off, do some upholstery work on the roof, so that we can also do a bit of hardware work on the roof. Because then this one is a sunroof, the automated sunroof one, and had to be worked on, both in the upholstery unit as well as the mechanism itself. But that's how the ceiling did look. It was fresh looking, only that the material was all gone, and it was pulled off. This was also done together with the bodyworks guy and then the electrical guy. Yes. So this is the progress of the work. The mechanism for the sunroof had been pulled off, and that's what sits by the trunk area. All the areas that had to be touched, you can see that it's been touched, and those red dots you see there are the reverse parking sensors. Now he went to ground the surfaces that he's touched, and what you are seeing is the ground of the ground surface of the areas that he had touched, and you can tell that, yeah, these were the areas that previously we needed to touch. Yes. So yeah, I mean, this is what it is, going through it day after day and seeing areas that had to be retouched and redone and back and forth and all that. But all in all, it was an interesting back and forth work, and well, that's what I do every day, so I get to have fun with it, and this one was really fun for me. So you can tell the right fender went also through grinding to get the surface prepared for the next phase when it gets to the paint job section, which we haven't gotten there yet. But then we had a problem with the sunroof. It was a bit leaky because the metal area there was rusty, and so the bodyworks guy had to work there to get the area back in shape so that we can then put the sunroof mechanism back, and they wouldn't have any problem when it rains, because it rains a lot in our country here. Yeah, so these are the things we went through, back and forth, little bits here and there. And you know, it's fun working with people who understand the way you want things to be done, because that's what I got, or that's what I keep getting from the people that I work with, and that's great. So that's the mechanism. You know, you can tell that the end there is rusty and broken. The best thing would have been to replace it, but this was not so gone, so we could just do a little bit of work on it and get it working. So, you know, we continued from there, and that's what it is. So yeah, so now he was done with the external. He needed to come into the inside part of it, where the dashboard sat, and then continue with where we left off when we were stripping it apart, and that's it. So he came back in. This is the engine bay, the wall of the dashboard that presses against the engine, and he had to do a bit of work here and there to get the fuse board sit very well, and then he did a good job. Yeah, he did a good job, and I give credit to this guy, because he knows his stuff. You just need to give him time and just direct him that this is what we want to be done, and you get it done. And I love working with him. He was also on time. Yeah, so basically this is what we did with the bodyworks up to this point, and you can tell that it's taking shape, even though it hadn't gone to the paint job guys yet. These areas had to be retouched, and what again? Yes, the side had to be retouched, and then the sunroof mechanism was put back when all the touches had been made and put in a good shape, so that when it rained, we'll have no issue with the rains when you are riding it. So this is how it did look like by the time we all were almost done with the bodyworks. And yeah, so this is basically it. There were still a few touches here to be done on the side mirrors, of which he was going to do, and he did. Let's go into it again and look at the dashboard, because we left off from the electrical guys when we had only put the dashboard beam on, not the dashboard itself. But then I realized that there was something that had to be done on the driver side of the driver side wall. Yes, so I drew his attention to it, and you know, the ceiling had taken shape, because then the upholstery guy managed to do something for us which was not so expensive. but cool. And that's it, you know. So it was fun. It has always been fun when doing it, and going through the process. And this is what I call the bird's eye view of how the job is done, and you arrive at this place. Again, we put in these fog lights, which was great. I think it gave it a good look, and it made it so simple and so nice looking fog lights. Don't go away, I'll show you how it lights on at the end of the video when we got to ride it and then used it in the night. So don't go away, stay around, and let's get to the this box on. Wait a minute, not so fast. This is the day that the bodyworks guy completed his job. I picked it up and straight to my electrical engineer to finish his part. He actually had to put the dashboard back and make sure that all the wiring and the wiring harnesses go back in place where they should go. And that is what you're looking at. The dashboard was put on, and you can tell that it's taking a beat down through the process. But we still got a plan for it. So we kept it and used it, and you would see the final product of this dashboard when we finished. But then when my electrical engineer finished with the installation of the dashboard, we moved them straight away to the paint job guys, and they started the work. What you're looking at is when they finished with the priming work, that is preparing the surface for the actual spray to go on, and we had set on the color at the time. Yes, but then if you look at the primer, he did so well that all the patches that were done were covered. And so when the actual spray work was done, you would not see any areas of patches that had been sprayed. And I think he did a good job, and that's what we have at the end of the day. Yes, so beautiful, right? It is. Yes. Now let's settle on what color we're going to do. That's where the problem was. But then we still arrived at settling on this color. Very beautiful and very unique, because these cars did not come in these colors. They came in very common colors, dark blues, and a lot of other color combinations, maroon and others. But we settled on this because we wanted to make it look different and one in all. And this is what we settled on, which was a very difficult task to do. But then you can tell that it's already doing great, because this is the first coat of the paint job, the spray job. And it's all going well. I'm sure you agree with me that it's all going well, because the first coat had already taken shape and it's made the car look different. Was this the car that was going through all the process? Yes, it is. It is for real. Yes. So that's great. And that's all I got to show you with the paint job. No, that's not the final thing I got for you with the spray job. No, the sound you just heard is the sound of what happens in the oven room where the final work is done or is being done. So I'm going to take you in there and I'll leave you there. The next time you see me again, we'll be showing you the final product from the oven room. So just stay tuned and keep your eyes watching, you know. At this point, I'll leave you alone to observe and conclude for yourself the quality of work we've done, and I'll touch on a very few things I forgot to mention in the process of doing the video, both in the engine compartment and then on the interior or exterior of this car. So when it comes to the engine compartment, we added the air conditioning compressor motor. We also added the pipes which were not in existence, the air conditioning flow pipes. Then again, we replaced the fan belt tensioner and the pulley, as well as the replacement of the airflow meter and the unit, the airflow meter unit. And these were a few things that were done in the engine to make it sound better and drive better. So as for the engine compartment, when you come to the rear end of the vehicle, we also added the reverse parking sensors and then the reverse camera, which I forgot to mention when I was talking about the electrical engineering installations that were done in the dashboard. Yeah, so the camera sits there, as well as the parking sensors, the reverse camera and the parking sensors sit there. We sprayed the calipers to match the body of the vehicle, and then when you come to the front, we added the fog lights, these LED round fog lights on these modern vehicles, so this one, and we resprayed the content of the front grille into black, which made it stand out a little bit better in this case. Now, before we go to the inside, let me just jump. We then again added new seat coverings, just to add a little bit of touch to this 26-old-year vehicle. The dashboard was repolished and resprayed. We changed the steering wheel completely to improve on the drivability, and then the interior aesthetics of the vehicle. Repolished the coffee brown insertions. We changed the shifter head, as well as the stereo speakers that are in this car. And interestingly, this car has about 6 stereo speakers inside this car, 2 in the front door, 2 in the rear door, and then 2 on the the rear seat, the rear windshield. Yeah, so it kind of has great sound system, and if you really want to boost it, you can, because it comes with the CD changers that were so popular in the 90s at the time. So we tinted the back windows a little bit to give it that sporty look, and then I'll let you hear the sound of this vehicle. So let me leave you alone for now. Hear how it sounds. We cleaned the engine and left it untouched, and it feels good. It's always pushy and it wants to drive. So I'll just end here and then jump to the tail end, where I show you how the fog lights work with the headlights when you are using it in the night. And then that would be my final conclusion. If you did like the video, just support us by going down to subscribe and then like and comment on it. Then again, if you want a lot more information on this particular Mercedes Benz, I've done a video which is accessible through the I button at the left hand of the video, so you can follow through to that video and enjoy it. But this is what GhDrive does anytime, any day. If you want us to assist you with any transformation, be it historic or be it a salvage vehicle, don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you all for viewing this video through to this point, and we love you. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is that we changed the internal stereo, which has a 4.5-inch reverse camera display, and